everybody. We are going to do a body weight bar class today. We're going to start standing, and so you can see my feet. I have the camera pointed down a little bit. So you're going to start standing with your feet in a small turnout, heels together, toes apart. Hands can just be on your hips, and you're standing up nice and tall. So nice neutral spine, abs and ribs are pulled in and together, shoulders down the back, head up, chest open. Keeping your heels together, you're just going to start to lift the heels and lower. So little just calf raises, heels lift and lower. Be careful with the balance here. It is a little bit of a balance challenge. So think about really zipping up your inner thighs, squeezing the glutes and wrapping the backs of the legs together. And if you need to hold on to something, you can always have like a dining room table, chair, or counter or something next to you to have some balance. But there should already be a lot of work in the backs of the legs. Last two. Good, and then we're just going to turn the feet to parallel and those same lifts. So heels up off the ground, heels lower down gently. So you're working through those ankles, articulating through the feet, and really engaging all of the muscles in those legs, especially the hamstrings and the glutes here. Try to think about that long line of energy through the body, just reaching straight up to the ceiling. So energy reaching out through the crown of the head. Instead of you pitching forward or leaning back, you're just reaching straight up. Okay, two more. Good, bring the heels together again. This time we're going into a small plies, and you can actually bring the arms down to a rounded position in front of the body. We're gonna bend into the knees. Make sure those knees are tracking towards your second and third toes, so you are turned out in the legs. Down, back up, down, back up. So squeezing the glutes, lifting the quads up away from the knees, zipping up the inner thighs, and also cinching the waist in on that lift. Think about the belly button here lifting in and up under the rib cage. Good. Get into that flow where we're resisting the way down, but really lifting right back up, finding that inner thigh connection. Good for 4, and 3, and 2, and 1. Halfway down, hold it. Little pulses here, couple inches up, couple inches down. Big deep breaths, big inhales, big exhales. Last 4, and lift. Good. Okay, now we're gonna lift the heels. We're gonna try to come into those plies with the heels up off the ground. So they're connected nice and tight. Again, if you need to hold on to something here, do that. Otherwise, you could also do another set of just the flat feet. That's fine as well. We're just going down and up, still keeping that neutral spine. Just 2 more here. Won't do a lot in this lifted position, and then lower the heels. You can step the feet out a little bit wider, a little bit further apart now. So shoulder width or wider, same thing. We're gonna go down into that low plie. This time we're gonna open the arms out to the sides. So as we come down, arms widen, kind of draw the shoulder blades closer to one another. As you lift, bring the arms in. So heels are down, your legs are still turned out, the knees are still tracking out to either side of the room towards the second and third toes. We're still pulling that belly button in and up under the rib cage. Good, so breathing through that movement, still keeping that neutral spine and torso upright. So making sure that you're not pitching the torso forward as you stand. And we're also not arching the back. Last 4. Okay, we're gonna hold this low plie here. Lift the right heel, pulse the hips up and down. So head is up, chest is open, big deep breaths, those abs are turned on, nice strong core. Last 4, and switch those heels, right heel down, left heel up, pulsing. Big deep breaths moving through the body. Breathing into the sides of the ribs, feeling that rib cage expand out to either side of the room. And as you exhale, you're cinching the waist in. All right, left heel down. Go ahead and lift. Shake it out a little bit, just sway the hips side to side. Let your legs relax a little bit there. We're gonna come into just a parallel feet standing position here. We're gonna do a little bit of balance work here. So you're gonna step the right leg back, bend into the left leg a little bit, reach the arms long for the floor. We're just gonna pitch the torso forward and start to lift that back leg up off the mat. Ideally, it's gonna come to be lifted at hip height. Point the toes, it's really energetic and lifted the whole time there. Torso doesn't have to be parallel to the floor, but it's as far forward as you can manage to hold it. We're gonna pull the elbows into the ribs up towards the ceiling. Inhale, reach the arms long to the floor. Exhale, pull. Inhale, reach. Exhale, inhale, exhale. 2 more. Good. And then bring that right foot down. Same thing, other side. You can stand in between sides. Make sure you've caught your breath. You're not feeling lightheaded at all. That opposite leg extends back. Inhale, pitch the torso forward. Find that gentle forward fold. Squeeze through the glute of that lifted leg. Ideally, it's hip height. Reaching back to the wall behind you. Again, we're gonna pull the elbows up to the ribs. Inhale to reach long. Exhale. Elbows pull in towards the rib cage, towards the ceiling. Good. And then gently bringing that left foot back down. Feet together, knees together. So you're gonna bend into the knees, sit the hips down and back. Pitch the torso forward, reach the arms up towards the ceiling. Biceps are up by the ears. We're gonna hold it low here and pump the arms back. So drawing the shoulders down the back, thumbs are up towards the ceiling. Your palms are facing each other. And just quick, controlled pumps, feeling those upper back muscles working. Good, and then as we bring the arms down, palms face down to the mat, and we'll lift the torso, we'll stand, press the arms back behind the body. Inhale, sit down and back into that chair position, arms up to the ceiling, and exhale, stand, press the arms down and back. Let's keep going, but pick that pace up a little bit. Good. So making sure that you're sitting the hips down and back into that low chair every time. As you stand, you're using those upper back muscles to help you press the arms back, down and back towards the wall behind you. So just making sure that there's intention throughout the movement. Last time, we're gonna come down into that low chair and hold it. Bring those arms down and back, palms face up to the ceiling. The arms were lifted behind the body, behind the torso. Pump the arms up towards the ceiling. Breathing through that movement. Belly buttons pulled in and up under the ribs, cinching the waist in. Keep the back of the neck long, looking down towards that front end of the mat. Keep pumping, last 4. Good, and then stand. You can reach your arms up to the ceiling. Take the arms out and down, roll the shoulders up, back and down. We're gonna go into one more set of arm work there. You can kind of shake the arms out a little bit first. That was a lot of work for the arms. Last little set with the arms here. You're gonna sit down and back into that low chair one more time. Turn the palms in towards each other. This time you're pressing back behind the body and arms in behind the back. So back and in, back and in. So you might not be able to see it super clearly here, but you're squeezing the arms towards each other behind you. So you should really start to feel it on the inside of the upper arm, in the bicep and in the shoulders and underneath the armpits into the lats. Lots of upper arm, upper body work. Good, 2 more. All right, go ahead and stand. Reach the arms to the ceiling. You can look up, arch the back a little bit if that feels okay. Open the chest up. Let the arms come out and down. All right, we're gonna step the left foot forward. Find a low lunge. So step that opposite foot back. Back leg is super straight and strong. Forward leg is bent to start. Go ahead and bring the hands up onto the hips. We're gonna lengthen through that front leg. Bend into that knee, lengthen and bend. Good, just 3 more of these. Just that front leg is moving, back heel is lifted. Good, bend into that knee again. This time bend the back knee, hover it above the mat and straighten that back leg. Bend and lengthen. So now mostly just that back leg is moving. The rest of the body will move a little bit in response to that, but we're just moving through the back leg. That's our mover and our catalyst. Okay, go ahead and keep that back leg straight. Now, we're still upright, but readjust if you need to. We're gonna take that front knee and just push it out to the side a couple inches. So very small movement, it's just the leg kind of sways out to the side, to the left. You're hinging through that front hip, okay? Taking the knee to whichever side that you have. My left knee is going to the left. If you're working with the right leg forward, moving the knee to the right. Good. Last 3 like this. Keep that back leg straight. All right, go ahead and straighten both legs. Let your back heel lower towards the ground. Bring your hands down to the mat gently. Let your head drop down, soft neck. Take a breath. And then bending into that front knee, step your back foot forward to meet the front foot. And you'll switch the legs out. So step that opposite foot back. And carefully roll up to standing. Find your balance there. So this time, back leg is straight, heels lifted. We'll start from the top, bending into that front leg. The torso is upright, the hands can be on the hips. We're straightening and bending through that front leg again. This should be to your second side, a different leg. So tightening up all the muscles in that working leg. Nice strong core. Okay, keep the front leg bent. This time your back knee bends. So you're hovering that back knee above the mat and lengthening that leg to lift up again. All right, so go ahead and straighten that back leg. Hold the front leg bent. We're gonna push that knee gently out to the side and back to center. So when you bring the knee back in, it's just lining up in front of the hip. It's not going across the body. The only movement of the knee is intentionally. You're pushing it out to the side. And when it comes back in, just allow it to come to center. Keep that back leg super straight. Keep those abs pulling in and together. All right, guys. Go ahead and straighten both legs. Carefully bring the hands to the mat. Framing that front foot, maybe even a couple inches in front of it. Let your head drop down, both legs straight. You can reach that back heel down towards the mat. Stretching out the calves and the hamstrings. And then step your back foot forward. Bring the feet together. Roll up to standing. One bone at a time. Head comes up last. You can roll the shoulders up, back and down. All right, guys, I'm gonna move the computer so you can see me a little bit better on the floor. And now we can do some floor work. So you're going to be in an all fours position. Okay, so hands and knees. Hands are underneath the shoulders, knees are underneath the hips. Nice flat back. Feel like you're pushing the ground away. So you're drawing the shoulders down the back and pressing all those fingers into the ground. Fingertips are spread wide, and you also have width across that upper back. That upper back is really strong. You're gonna take the left leg back, point the toes, squeeze the glute, tighten up all the muscles in that leg. And then from there, right arm, the opposite arm, reaches forward, and you'll hold finding some balance, finding some stability. Big deep breath. If that's enough for you to just hold here, you can keep doing that. Otherwise, you can add movement. We're gonna bend into the elbow and the knee, pull the elbow and knee underneath the body, maybe tap them together. Inhale, reach long, find that length again, and exhale, pulling in. So we ideally want to keep the rest of the body super stable, which can be pretty tough. So we're just trying to move slow and not affect the opposite arm and leg to the best of our ability. We're gonna gently bring that hand back down, but keep the leg lifted. So both hands are on the ground, back leg is still lifted, hip height, pointed toes. We're gonna tap the foot to the ground, lift the leg back up. So squeezing into that glute and hamstring, keeping the abs turned on, keeping the breath moving with you. Last 4. And then holding the lift, flex the foot, take the leg out to the side a few inches and back to center. So now you're still moving through that hip. You're feeling the outer glute, outer thigh and hip working. Last 3. All right, guys, gently bring that knee back down. You can take a quick child's pose or cat-cow, let the back stretch out. Take a breath. And then we'll reset that position again. So same thing, working on the other side. Extend your opposite leg back. For me, it's the right leg. You're gonna point the toes, squeeze the glute. Lift the leg up hip height. Okay, so then your left arm or opposite arm is reaching out as well. Hold that balance. And then if you want to add on, we're bending into the elbow and the knee, pulling them together underneath the body. Inhale, reaching long, reaching away. Exhale, pull. Inhale, reach. Exhale. One more here. And then gently bringing the hand back down. Keep that opposite leg lifted, pointed toes, squeeze the glute. Tap the foot to the mat, lift the leg back up. Try to work from right where the glute and the hamstring come together. Keeping those abs turned on. Last 3. We'll hold the lift, flex the foot, take the leg out to the right side and back to center. Okay, almost there, you guys, keeping everything really strong. Still feel like you're pushing the ground away. Shoulders are sliding down the back of the neck is long. Gently bring that knee back down. Take a little cat-cow here, head up, chest open, big inhale, belly down. Exhale as you round the spine, tuck the tailbone under, scoop the abs in, drop the head. Inhale, tailbone up, belly down, head up, chest open. And exhale, round, tucking the tailbone under. All right, guys, go ahead and swing the legs around in front of you. We're gonna sit down and come back into a seeker for some ab work. So you can tuck the tailbone under. You can bring the hands behind you if you want. Actually, we will come down onto the forearms. So go ahead and bring the elbows down underneath your shoulders, back behind you. So the forearms and the hands are flat on the mat. You can tuck the tailbone under and scoop your abs so that your low back is really pressed down into the mat. Mid back is still lifted, shoulders are down. We're gonna lift that left leg up into tabletop and then lift the right leg up to meet it, okay? So both legs are gonna lengthen out to 45. You're gonna bend your right knee, bring your right inner foot to the inside of the left knee, and then both legs together are just lowering and lifting, okay? So using your low abs to help move the legs. The low back and especially the sacrum right above the tailbone and underneath the low back is pressing into the mat. Only lowering and lifting the legs as high as feels okay on your back without allowing that position to change. One more. Good, hold the lift, switch the legs out, and same thing, down and up. So you're not relaxing down into those shoulders. Still slide the shoulders down the back. Keep the tailbone tucked. Keep those abs scooped in. This should be a lot of lower abdominal work. So really make sure that you're utilizing the correct muscle groups. Really using the core. Make sure this knee that's bent is pointing towards the ceiling and then towards you, not out to the side of the room at all. All right, one more. And then go ahead and draw both legs out, heels together, toes apart. You can flex your feet here. We're gonna bend the knees in towards the shoulders. You're still press down with that low back against the mat, lengthen the legs to 45. Bend the knees in, lengthen the legs. So still those abs are working really hard here. 2 more. Okay, go ahead and bring the feet parallel, bend the knees, bring the feet down, prop yourself up to seated. And we will still be in that similar position. I'm just going to turn so you can see me a little bit better. So feet and knees are together, hands are back behind those upper thighs. You're going to tuck the tailbone under, squeeze into the glutes, round back so that that low back again is on the mat, but the upper back is lifted. Keep holding on behind the thighs here. Bend into the elbows. We're going into little crunches, curling the chest up an inch, back an inch. Breathing through that movement. You can use the arms, but also make sure that you're using your core. Good. And then go ahead and lower down. And then we're going to come back up. Nod the chin towards the chest. Curl up over the rib cage. You can move the feet a little bit further away if you need to. Round forward. Restack. Okay, we're gonna flip over for some push-ups. So you can come onto hands and knees. You could also be in full plank for this if you like. It just depends on how you're feeling today. Hands are gonna be wide underneath your shoulders. When you're ready, one long line from the crown of the head to the knees. As you inhale, lower the chest towards the ground. Exhale. Squeeze through those pecs to push up to straight arms. Nice, guys. Keep it going. Really use that breath. Use those upper back muscles. Draw the shoulders down the back. One more. Good. Gently bring the feet down. Okay. We're gonna come into a all-fours position, but on your forearms. So you're just gonna bring the elbows down, elbows underneath the shoulders, knees are back, underneath the hips, okay? So nice flat back. Make sure you're not like really arching. You're still lifting your abs and the ribs as well up into the back body. Okay, so supporting the back. You're gonna straighten one leg back behind you, point the toes, lift that leg hip height. We're gonna tap that foot back down to the opposite corner of the mat, lift it up and out to the side. So I'm tapping my right foot down to the left bottom corner, lifting it up and out to the right. So getting into that outer glute, outer thigh, and hip again for 4. Good. Gently bring that knee down. Just for a moment, you can sit the hips back towards the heels, little child's pose. And then same thing, other side. So bring the forearms down again. Make sure your back is supported. Straighten that opposite leg back. Lift it up hip height, squeeze the glute. You're gonna tap that foot down to the bottom corner of the mat. Lift it up and out to its own side. So tapping the left foot down to the right, lifting it up and out to the left. Keeping the breath moving with you. Okay, last 3. All right, guys, bring that knee in and down gently. You can again sit back towards the heels, quick child's pose, big inhale. Big exhale. Okay, so come up into that all fours position. You're gonna step your left leg back, extend that leg all the way, tuck the right toes under, lift that knee an inch or 2 up off the mat. We're gonna be bending into your left knee and lengthening the leg, okay? So just that left leg, bend, lengthen, bend, lengthen. So you can find like a little bit of a bounce with it, but make sure it's controlled. Good. All right, go ahead and step the left foot in, extend that right leg back. Same thing, bend, lengthen, bend, lengthen. Abs are lifted up into the back body. We're keeping that opposite knee, the leg that's in a deeper bend, keeping the knee hovered. So no knees are touching the mat. All right, guys, step both feet in. Let those knees come down. Walk your hands back towards your knees. Roll yourself up to a tall kneeling position. Reach the arms straight forward. Okay, so arms are out in front of the shoulders. They're long. You're gonna hinge through your knees to take the whole body back a few inches and forward. Okay, so we're not arching the back. Make sure you have that straight line from the head to the knees here. You're squeezing into the glutes and the hamstrings to help push the body forward in space. One more here. Okay, let those arms come down, roll the shoulders up, back, and down. We're gonna go into some chest expansion, back extension here. You're gonna carefully come down onto the mat all the way. So you can bring the knees down and then gently lower your upper body onto the mat. So hands are gonna be right underneath your shoulders, elbows point straight back to the wall behind you. Try to really pull the elbows into the rib cage there, into the sides of the body. Lift your abs up into your back. So you can see already how that tucks my tailbone under a little bit. And then you can squeeze the glutes and press the pubic bone into the ground. You're gonna take an inhale, lift the head, Lift the chest, exhale. Use your arms and your upper body strength to help you come up a little bit higher. Keep those elbows glued into the sides of the body. So then we're just in that nice back extension to whatever point feels okay for your body. Belly comes down first, then the chest, then the head. Okay, inhale. Exhale. Allow yourself to come up a little bit higher, maybe if it's available to you today, and then gently lowering down. Okay, one more. Inhale. Exhale. And then slowly we'll come back down. Okay, guys. We're going to take the arms straight out in front of us for some swimming. So, arms long, big inhale. Exhale, lift the abs, lift the arms, legs, and chest up away from the ground. You're going to lift your right arm, left leg, and then switch left arm, right leg, switch, and switch. You're going to pick up the pace with that movement, making it a little bit quicker. Squeezing through the glutes, reaching out through the fingertips, working through those upper back muscles. Big deep breaths. Abs are lifted up into the back. Last 4. And gently you can relax the arms down, bend them out wide to either side of the room. Bring one ear to the mat. Take a breath. One more breath here. Alright, carefully prop yourself up. We're going to sit the hips back towards the heels and then lift up and back into a downward dog here. So tuck the toes under. You can always walk the feet closer to you to readjust if you need, but shift the weight back so your hips are back towards the feet. The head drops down in between the arms. Soft neck. We're going to pedal the feet out, bending and lengthening each leg one at a time. Alright guys, and then we're going to shift the weight forward into that plank, turn into a side plank if you're able to. Just that bottom arm down, top arm reaches up. You're just holding it for 3, 2, and 1. Gently bring that top arm down. We'll rotate to the other side, so you can just carefully turn the other way. Bottom hand right underneath the shoulder, top arm reaching up to the ceiling. 3, 2, 1. Gently rotate towards the ground. Good. Step your right foot forward towards the front end of the mat. You can kind of scoot it forward in between the hands and then bring that back knee down. And we're going to stretch through the hips here for a moment. So lean your hips forward. Allow that back hip that's lengthened and open to be open and stretch. And then your front hip is just compressing a little bit. Take a breath. And then we're going to straighten the front leg, lift the toes, walk the hands back with that little ways, so that the back of the front leg can really lengthen and stretch out. The hamstring opens up. Okay, shift the weight forward one more time. Walk that front foot across your mat. Bring the shin down gently, the shin and the knee down, so that you're in that kind of pigeon stretch. Your hips can settle down towards the ground from there. But ideally, we just want that right hip and glute to get stretched out a little bit, or whichever leg you have forward. So trying to just give yourself the space for that and the time. And then we'll tuck the back toes under, lift that knee. Make sure you have good upper body support here. Lift the abs up into the back. Step the front leg back. Step the back foot forward for your lunge again. Back knee rests down gently. You can readjust as you need, but leaning the hips forward, allowing that back hip to open up. Big inhale, big exhale. And then walking the hands back a bit as you lift the front foot toes and straighten that leg for a hamstring stretch. You can let your head drop down here, nice soft neck. That'll increase the stretch. And then again, shift the weight forward gently, bending the front leg. Bring your hands forward with you. We're gonna walk that foot across the mat. Gently lower the calf and the shin down, coming into that pigeon stretch. So here you just want to make sure that the front leg is not bent in a way that is hurting your knee or pulling on it in any strange way. So the deeper the bend in the leg, the easier it's going to be. The more that your calf and shin are parallel to the front of your mat, so the further your foot is away from the body, that's going to make it harder, a lot harder, and just more of a stretch, a deeper stretch. So just be cautious with that one. It's super, just can kind of risk getting an injury through the knee if you push too far with it. Okay, we're going to tuck the back toes under, lift that back knee, lift your abs. Have support through the upper body, step the front foot back. Find your downward dog again. Lift the hips up and back. Drop the head down in between the arms. Big deep breath. Make sure you're stable. I'm going to turn a little bit. But we're just in that down dog. You guys are going to start to lift and lower your heels. Go ahead and bend the knees gently, bring them down to the mat. I'm going to have you flip over to laying on your back for bridge. So go ahead and gently come down onto the back again. You can roll down from sitting up if you like, but the feet are going to be parallel, hips width apart, heels pretty close to the glutes, arms relax into the mat beside you. Take an inhale, tuck the tailbone under, exhale, squeeze through the hamstrings and the glutes to roll the hips up. We're balanced on the shoulder girdle at the top there, so make sure the shoulder blades are on the mat. Roll the spine back down slow, so your upper back comes down first, then the mid back, then the low back, then the tailbone. Inhale, tuck under, squeeze through the glutes and the hamstrings to lift. Hold that lift and slowly roll down. 2 more like that. Last one, guys, we're gonna hold at the top. You're circling through the waist, so hips move to the left, up a few inches, to the right, down a few inches. So just kind of a hula hoop type circle through the waist. It's a lot slower and more controlled than it would be if we were hula hooping. But squeezing through the glutes, you're creating mobility through the spine. And you're cinching the waist in, so lots of oblique work to help you move side to side like that. And not just side to side, but also up and down. Go ahead and switch direction. Breathing through. Okay, go ahead and roll the spine back down. And again, inhale, tuck under. Exhale, squeeze through the backs of the legs. Come up into that bridge, hold it. And we're gonna lift and lower the heels. So heels just come up and back down. Okay, this is some calf work. So probably feeling it into those calves right away. Good. Also lots of hamstrings and glutes. Last two. Okay, draw your heels together, toes apart. You're still lifted. Lift the heels, keep them connected. If you need to bring the feet any closer together to do that, that's fine. Bring your knees together, open the knees wide. So this time you're zipping up the inner thighs. You're pushing the knees away from each other. Zip up the inner thighs, push the knees away. So we're working inner thighs and outer thighs. Heels are glued together nice and tight. Two more. Okay, hold the knees wide, pulse the hips up to the ceiling. It's kind of a quick pulse. Squeeze through the glutes and the hamstrings. Alright, and then go ahead and bring the knees a little bit closer towards each other. Separate your heels, lower them, roll the spine down slow. Good. Alright. We're going to take the right leg straight up to the ceiling, point the toes, externally rotate that leg. You're going to lengthen your left leg all the way out onto the mat, flex the foot. Take the right leg across the body. Exhale, circle it down, around, and up. Pause the top. Inhale across. Exhale, circle. One more. Okay, we're going to do that same circle in the bridge that we were just in. So bend that left leg again, plant the foot flat on the mat. Roll the hips up. Keep that right leg lifted. Smaller circle here. Inhale across. Exhale, down, around, and up. Bend that right leg, carefully bring the foot back down, roll your spine down, lengthen the right leg out onto the ground, flex the foot, bring that left leg straight up to 90 towards the ceiling, externally rotate. You're going to take the leg across the body, exhale down, around, and up. So we're circling that left leg through the hip. Good, we're going to repeat that in our bridge. Bend the right knee, tuck the tailbone under, roll up into your bridge, hold it. Smaller circle across the body. Exhale down, around, and up. Good, bend that knee, bring the foot back down gently. Roll your spine down slow. Give the knees a big hug into the chest. Rock the back out side to side. You can also kind of roll through the back, making small circles on that lower back. That should feel really nice. Go ahead and move in both directions if you're trying that circle. All right, you guys. We're gonna nod the chin towards the chest. Exhale, curl the chest up over the rib cage. Let your feet come down to the mat. Lengthen your arms alongside the body. Reach the fingers long, draw the shoulders down the back. We're going to start to pump the arms up and down. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Keep breathing. Pull the belly button deeper in and up under the ribs. Nice, strong, quick pumps. You can always have one hand behind the head and keep pumping. And then after a few breaths, you can switch. Okay? But make sure to keep the movement going. Do your best to keep lifted. Last breath. Good. Go ahead and gently come back down. Reach the arms back to the wall behind you. Give yourself a big stretch there. Really reach the fingertips long. Draw the shoulders down the back. And you can circle the arms out and around. Okay. We are going to try some leg lifts just on our back here. So relax the arms into the mat again. Bring the left leg up into tabletop and then bring the right leg up to meet it. And really imprint the low back into the ground, into the mat. Pull those abs down. You're going to straighten both legs towards the ceiling. Turn the feet out, heels together, toes apart. Relaxing the neck, we're going to let the legs lower a few inches towards the mat. You could take them lower as long as your low back stays pressed down. And you keep the connection to your abdominals. So making sure that those abs are really doing the work to help lift the legs every time. Inhale. Exhale as the legs lift. Make sure you have that breath constantly flowing through the body so that you're never holding your breath. 2 more. Okay, we're gonna flex the feet, bend the knees in like we did previously for those frog legs. You're gonna curl the chest up, nod the chin towards the chest, curl the chest up over the ribs, hold there, hover the arms if you like, shoulders down. We're gonna straighten the legs out and bend the knees in. So just like we did frog legs earlier in class. Second set, a little bit harder in this position. Last time we were on our forearms. Again, you can bring the hands back behind the head if you need. Okay. We're gonna let the head and chest come down, keep the legs lifted. Straighten the right leg out to the right. You're gonna point the toes of both feet. Left leg is still bent, knee in towards the left shoulder. We're gonna bring the legs to center, tap the heels together, and switch. Bend the right knee towards the right shoulder, let that left leg fall out to the left, but keep it lifted and energized. You still have control over it. Lengthen the legs through center, tap the heels. Take the right leg out to the right, bend the left knee into the left shoulder. Tap the heels, switch. So it's a slow movement, controlled. Lots of pelvic stability going on or being worked towards. So, lots of core strength as well to keep those legs lifted. So just be aware of that area. Make sure that the hips, the pelvis are as level and as stable as they can be, and that you're not allowing your back to arch or lift, and it's not in any pain. You can always take the legs up at a higher angle if you need to, if your back is doing any of those things, okay? We're gonna come back to center, bend the knees, bring the feet down. So you can let the knees just fall side to side here for a moment, let your back stretch out. Okay, one more time, bring the legs back up into tabletop. So zip up the inner thighs. We're gonna lower both feet towards the mat a few inches. Exhale to lift the knees. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale. So super small movement. I'm only lowering the feet as much as I can, keeping my abdominals connected to my low back so that I know it's the abs that are doing the work and I don't lose that connection. One more. Good. Okay, you can straighten the legs towards the ceiling. Bring your hands back behind your thighs or calves, and then we're gonna inhale, nod the chin towards the chest. Curl the chest up over the ribs again. Pull the legs a little bit closer to your chest, and then you can let that left leg lower towards the ground. Walk your hands up a little bit higher on the right leg. Pull that right leg in. Switch. Lower the right leg, pull the left leg in. Switch. And switch. One more each side. Good. And you can bend your knees, rock yourself up to seated. We're gonna do a quick stretch here and then we'll be all set. So bring the feet together, heels closer to your glutes and hands on the knees. We're gonna bring the head up, chest open, big inhale. And then exhale, knees together, round your spine. One more inhale. And exhale. All right, you guys are all set. Great job today. Thanks for coming.